Will you help my mommy for $5? The question cut through the clubhouse like a knife. A 9-year-old girl stood outside on the street, holding out a wrinkled $5 bill. Her small hand trembled. A yellow butterfly clip hung crooked in her brown hair. 23 bikers stopped mid-conversation. Cards frozen on the table. Engines still warm in the parking lot. This wasn't a place for children. The Iron Brotherhood was infamous. Ex-military operators. Former convicts. Men whose rap sheets were longer than their prison sentences. The street outside their clubhouse smelled of exhaust, whiskey, and broken rules. Hammer, the club president, stepped forward. 6'4", 250 pounds of scarred muscle and ink. His tattooed arms told stories of fallen brothers and forgotten wars. But the little girl didn't back away. "What's your name, little one?" Hammer's voice came out softer than he intended. "Lily," she said. "Lily Brooks." "Lily, where's your mother?" "At home, dying from cancer." The street went silent. Lily's words poured out, desperate and raw. "She needs treatment that costs $75,000. My Uncle Derek says he'll pay for everything, but only if I go live with him. Mom said no because he's dangerous." Her voice broke. "But if she dies, I killed her. So I saved $5. Please, please save her." The bikers looked past her. A black Mercedes idled at the curb. A man in an expensive suit sat watching, smiling. They all recognized that smile. Every single one of them had seen predators before. In combat zone. In prison yards. In mirrors. And they knew exactly what this one wanted. Before we continue with what happened next, if stories of redemption, courage, and brotherhood move you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for biker stories. Because what these bikers did next will restore your faith in humanity. Now, let's get back to Lily's story. Hammer's voice carried across the street like a shotgun blast. "Tell your uncle to come inside." Lily's eyes went wide. "But now." The Mercedes door opened. Derek Morrison stepped out, smoothing his suit jacket. Armani. Italian shoes. A Rolex that cost more than most people's cars. He walked toward the clubhouse like he owned the street. He didn't. Derek entered with a practiced smile. Confident. Charming. The kind of smile that worked on judges and social workers and desperate women. It didn't work here. 23 bikers sat in absolute silence. Not the silence of intimidation. The silence of predators watching prey walk into their territory. "Gentlemen," Derek said, his voice smooth as expensive whiskey, "I appreciate you taking an interest in my niece's situation. But this is a family matter." Hammer didn't move. "Sit down." Derek's smile flickered, but he sat. "Explain your offer," Hammer said. Derek's confidence returned. He leaned back, casual, like he was closing a real estate deal. "My sister Sarah is terminally ill. Stage 4 cancer. Tragic, really. The experimental treatment she needs costs $75,000. As the only family member with resources, I've offered to cover the entire cost." He spread his hands. "Reasonable. Generous. All I ask in return is custody of Lily. Sarah's clearly unable to care for her. The child needs stability. Approprioma. Private schools. Opportunities." His gaze drifted to Lily, standing near the door. Lingered. Tank saw it. The way Derek's pupils dilated. The way his eyes traced the curve of her small shoulders. The way his tongue touched his upper lip. Tank's fists clenched white. Doc saw it too. The defensive wounds on Lily's arms. Fresh bruises. Old scars. The way she instinctively moved behind Hammer when Derek looked at her. Raven, standing by the bar, recognized every single sign. 20 years as a social worker. She'd seen this pattern 100 times. The isolation tactics. The conditional generosity. The grooming language masked as care. Sarah's being unreasonable. Derek continued. She's letting pride kill her, letting her daughter watch her die. All because she won't accept help from family. He shook his head, disappointed, concerned. I'm trying to save them both. But Sarah would rather let Lily become an orphan than. Get out. Hammer's voice was quiet, deadly quiet. Derek blinked. Excuse me? You heard me. Get out. Derek stood slowly, smoothing his suit. The mask cracked, just for a second. His eyes went cold, hard, empty. You're making a mistake, he said. That little girl is going to watch her mother die, and it'll be your fault. He walked toward the door, stopped beside Lily, leaned down. I'll see you soon, sweetheart. The threat was clear. Tank's body camera, clipped to his vest, captured everything. Every word, every look, every moment. The Mercedes pulled away. Taillights disappeared around the corner. Hammer pulled out his phone. Tank, I need you to call every chapter between here and Nevada. Anyone who's done time with Morrison's type. Tank nodded. Document call your special forces buddies. The ones who do background investigations now. Doc was already dialing. Wrench, public records, court documents, everything digital. Wrench cracked his knuckles. Hammer looked at each of them. His brothers, his family. Find out everything about Derek Morrison. His real name, where he's lived, who he's hurt, every sealed record, every paid settlement, every family that went quiet after lawyers showed up. His voice dropped to a growl. Everything. The war room opened for business. And Derek Morrison had no idea he'd just made the worst mistake of his life. The clubhouse transformed. Pool tables became command centers. The bar became a communication hub. Laptops appeared. Burner phones lit up. Maps spread across every surface. This wasn't a biker club anymore. This was a military operation. Tank worked 3 phones simultaneously. Yeah, it's me. Nevada chapter? I need everything on a Derek Morrison, real estate developer. Lived in Henderson 2012 to 2015. Pause. I don't care if it's sealed. Find the families. Ask the right questions. Click. Next call. Doc had his Special Forces network activated. Men who'd moved from combat zones to private security. Men with access to databases that didn't officially exist. Run the name. Derek Morrison. Also try Derek Mitchell, Derek Morgan, any variation. This type changes names like most people change socks. His buddy's voice crackled through. Give me 20 minutes. Wrench's fingers flew across his keyboard. Public records. Property transfers. Court filings. News archive. He pulled threads most people didn't know existed. Got a sealed civil case in Oregon. 2014. Settlement paid to a family named Chun. Daughter was 11. Raven cross-referenced social services databases. Another in Arizona. 2016. Family named Rodriguez. The case disappeared after a $200,000 payment. The puzzle pieces fell into place. By 10 p.m., Tank's Nevada contact called back. You're not gonna like this. Morrison settled with 2 families there. Both had daughters under 12. Both cases sealed. Both families signed NDAs. But I talked to a cop who worked one of the investigations. He said Morrison's lawyers buried them before charges could be filed. By 11 p.m., Doc's Special Forces buddy delivered. His real name is Derek Michael Morrison. Changed it legally in 2010 after an investigation in California. That one involved his own stepdaughter. Charges dropped after the mother recanted. She received a house and $300,000. By midnight, Wrench had the full picture. 4 states, 6 families, all settled, all sealed, all with minor daughters. The pattern is textbook. He moves every 2 to 3 years. Always stays just ahead of serious investigation. Always uses money and lawyers to bury everything. Hammer stared at the evidence spread across the table. Photographs, court documents, settlement agreements, a trail of destroyed childhoods bought with blood money. Get the bikes, he said quietly. 14 motorcycles rolled out at 1:30 a.m. They rode in formation. No calers, no pachis, just men on machines, cutting through the night like avenging angels. Derek's luxury condo sat in an upscale neighborhood. Glass and steel, doormen, underground parking, the kind of place where money kept questions quiet, the kind of place that had never seen 14 Harleys pull up at 2 a.m. Engines shattered the silence. Windows lit up. The doorman reached for his phone. Tank showed him a badge. Not his own. Borrowed. But real enough. We're here on business. Go back inside. The doorman went inside. They rode the elevator to the 12th floor. Hammer knocked. Derek answered in a silk robe, irritation turning to fear as 14 bikers filled his hallway. We need to talk. Inside, Derek's confidence evaporated. They weren't there to threaten. They were there to execute. Hammer laid out the evidence. Every document, every settlement, every family, every child. Here's what's going to happen, Hammer said. You're going to sign papers relinquishing any claim to Lily Brooks. You're going to leave the state by sunrise. You're never coming back. Derek's lawyer voice returned. You can't. Doc's phone rang. He answered, then put it on speaker. This is James Rodriguez, attorney at law. I have documents prepared for Mr. Morrison to sign. I'm 3 blocks away. Derek's face went white. You can't force me to. Tank pressed play on his body camera. Derek's voice filled the room. I'll see you soon, sweetheart. The threat, the tone, the predatory smile. Surveillance footage from your clubhouse means nothing in court. Not for court, Hammer said quietly. For the internet. For your business partners. For every news outlet in 3 states. For everyone who needs to know what you are. Wrench held up his phone. I've got emails ready. 1 click sends everything to 47 recipients. Media, police, your real estate clients, the families you paid off. Everyone. Derek's lawyer arrived. Notary seal in hand. The papers were signed. Witnessed. Notarized. Legal and binding. You're on the 6 a.m. flight to Seattle, Hammer said. We've already booked it. One way. You don't come back. Not for business. Not for family. Not ever. Derek's hands shook as he signed. And Derek? Hammer leaned in close. We have brothers in every city. If you go near another child, we'll know. And lawyers won't save you. By dawn, Derek Morrison was gone. The bikers rode back as the sun rose, knowing they'd done what the system couldn't. They'd protected a little girl. And they'd sent a monster running. Hammer walked into the clubhouse at 6:47 a.m. Lily sat on the couch, asleep under Raven's jacket. Her $5 bill clutched in her hand. The predator was gone. But the real fight was just beginning. Hammer opened his encrypted communication app. Typed 4 words into the National Iron Brotherhood channel. Mandatory church. Right now. Across 12 states. Phones vibrated. Bikers put down coffee. Left breakfast tables. Started engines. Within minutes, the responses flooded in. Nevada standing by. Arizona ready. Oregon, what do you need? Hammer's message was simple. A 9-year-old girl offered us $5 to save her dying mother. Cancer. $75,000 treatment needed immediately. We're going to give her a miracle. Every chapter. Every brother. Right now. The Brotherhood mobilized. Tank coordinated the collections. Nevada hit every clubhouse in your state. California, same. I want collections running by 8 a.m. His phone didn't stop ringing. We've got $3,000 from Reno. Phoenix chapter just pulled $4,500. Portland's doing a breakfast ride. They'll have 10 grand by noon. Doc worked his VA network. Men he'd served with in Fallujah. Medics from Afghanistan. Brothers who'd held the line when the world went to hell. I need a favor. Stage 4 cervical cancer patient. Experimental treatment. She needs the best oncologist, you know. His buddy didn't hesitate. Dr. Chun at Memorial. He's the best. Send me her records. One more thing. Fast-track her case. This family's been through enough. Consider it done. Raven made calls to social services. 20 years of relationships. Favors owed. Trust earned. I need emergency foster certification. I know it usually takes weeks. I'm asking for 48 hours. The supervisor knew Raven's reputation. Send me the paperwork. I'll push it through. Wrench sat at his laptop, building something special. Not a typical crowdfunding page. No photos of Lily. No exploitation. Just the truth. A 9-year-old girl walked into a biker clubhouse with $5. She offered everything she had to save her mother's life. Stage 4 cancer. $75,000 treatment needed. She believed in us. Now we need you to believe in her. He added a donation counter. Set the goal at $75,000. Hit publish. Then he sent the link to every motorcycle forum, every veteran group, every cancer support network he could find. The page went live at 9:23 a.m. By 9:45 they had $2,000. By 10:30 they hit $10,000. Donations poured in. $20 from a veteran in Texas. $500 from a cancer survivor in Maine. $50 from a grandmother who wrote, I was that little girl once. Someone helped me. Now I'm helping her. Motorcycle clubs from states that had never met the Iron Brotherhood donated. Veterans who'd never ridden a bike donated. Families who'd fought cancer donated. Strangers moved by a little girl's courage donated. By noon, they hit $25,000. By 3 p.m., $50,000. Tank's phone rang nonstop with chapter reports. Seattle just did a charity ride. $8,000. San Diego's doing a bike wash. Another $3,500. Denver chapter cleaned out their emergency fund. $12,000. Raven watched the numbers climb, tears streaming down her face. Doc called with good news. Dr. Chun reviewed Sarah's case. He'll take her. Treatment starts the moment we have the funds. Hammer stood at the window watching the sunset. Lily woke up on the couch. Rubbed her eyes. Did you save my mommy? Hammer knelt down. Showed her the crowdfunding page. $73,000. $78,000. $82,000. The number kept climbing. Yeah, sweetheart, Hammer said, his voice breaking. We're saving your mommy. By sunrise the next morning, they'd raised $95,000. More than enough for treatment. More than enough for recovery. More than enough to give a little girl her mother back. The miracle wasn't just the money. It was what happened when broken men remembered they could still do good. Monday morning.
7 Uhr morgens.
Hammer walked through the automatic doors of Memorial Hospital carrying a duffel bag. Black leather vest. Tattooed arms. Chains. Boots that echoed off the polished floors. Security noticed. Hands moved toward radios. Hammer walked straight to oncology. Dr. Michael Chin looked up from his desk. His eyes went from Hammer's face to the bag to the patches on his vest. Can I help you? Hammer set the duffel bag on the desk. Unzipped it. Cash. Checks. Money orders. All organized. All counted. All documented. This is for Sarah Brooks. Stage 4 cervical cancer. Whatever she needs. Dr. Chun stared at the money. Then at Hammer. I'm sorry, who are you? Someone who keeps promises. Dr. Chun pulled Sarah's file, reviewed the case he'd already memorized, the experimental treatment protocol, the risks, the odds. Mr. Hammer. Mr. Hammer, I've reviewed Mrs. Brooks's case extensively. The treatment has a 60% success rate in clinical trials. But there are significant risks, severe side effects, possible organ damage. No guarantees. Hammer didn't blink. Start today. Dr. Chun looked at this massive, terrifying man standing in his office. Looked at the duffel bag full of hope. I'll need her consent and I'll get it. What time?
10 a.m.
We'll begin with pre-treatment blood work and we'll be ready. Hammer walked to room 347. Sarah Brooks lay in the bed, skeletal thin, skin gray, breathing shallow. For tubes, monitors, the machinery of dying. Lily sat beside her mother, holding her hand, still wearing yesterday's clothes, still clutching her $5 bill. Sarah's eyes opened when Hammer entered. Confusion, then recognition, then tears. You came. Her voice barely a whisper. Hammer pulled a chair close, sat down. This giant of a man making himself small beside a dying woman. Dr. Chun is starting treatment today.
10 Uhr morgens.
Sarah's tears fell harder. I don't have. Hammer took the $5 bill from Lily's hand. Gently, carefully, he placed it in Sarah's palm, closed her fingers around it. You raised a warrior, he said quietly. A 9-year-old girl who walked into a room full of dangerous men and asked them to save you. She offered everything she had. That's the bravest thing I've ever seen. His voice cracked, just slightly. This is her payment in full. The rest is handled. Every dollar, every treatment, every medication, everything. Sarah sobbed, tried to speak, couldn't. Now you focus on one thing, Hammer said. Getting better. Your daughter needs you. The world needs you. Because any woman who can raise a kid that brave deserves to see her grow up. He stood, looked at Lily. Raven's outside. She's going to take you to her place. Give you a rail bed. Hot meals. Safety. Your mom's got a fight ahead. But she won't fight alone. Lily looked at her mother. At Hammer. At the $5 bill in Sarah's hand. You promise she'll be okay? Hammer knelt down. I level with this tiny warrior who'd changed everything. I promise she'll have every chance. And we'll be here every single day. You and me and every brother in this club. Your mom won't face one moment alone. Treatment started at 10 a.m. By noon, Tank was in the waiting room, reading magazines, drinking terrible coffee. By 2 p.m. Doc was there, monitoring vitals, asking questions. By 4 p.m., Wrench arrived with his laptop, working quietly in the corner. By 6 p.m., 3 more brothers showed up, creating a rotation, a guard, presence. The nurses noticed. These terrifying men who brought coloring books for children in the ward, who held doors for elderly patients, who sat with people who had no visitors. Week 1 became week 2. Week 2 became month 1. Someone was always there, standing guard over a woman they'd never met, because a little girl asked them to. And the Iron Brotherhood always kept their word. The treatment was hell. Week 1. Sarah couldn't keep food down. Vomiting, fever, pain that made her scream. Tank sat beside her bed, held the basin, wiped her forehead with a cold cloth. Week 3. Radiation burns covered her chest. Skin peeling, open sores. She begged them to let her die. Doc changed her dressings, adjusted her pain medication, talked her through the worst moments. You've got a daughter who needs you. You don't get to quit. Week 5. The experimental drugs nearly shut down her kidneys. Emergency intervention. ICU for 72 hours. Hammer never left. Slept in the chair. Ate hospital cafeteria food. Refused to move. Week 8 hair gone. Weight down to 90 pounds. So weak she couldn't lift a cup. Wrench brought a tablet. Set up video calls with Lily every morning. Every night. Mommy. Raven made pancakes. Mommy. I got an A on my spelling test. Mommy. When are you coming home? Lily was living with Raven now. Real meals. Clean clothes. A bed that didn't have monsters under it. The bruises faded. The nightmares stopped. She learned to smile again. 3 months. 90 days of hell. Then Dr. Chun ordered the final scans. The waiting room filled at dawn. Not just the local chapter. Brothers from 6 states. 47 bikers crammed into a space designed for 20. Nurses gave up trying to enforce capacity limits. Dr. Chun walked in at 11 a.m. The room went silent. He looked at Hammer, the tank, at Doc and Raven and Wrench, at every scarred, tattooed face waiting for the verdict. He smiled. Sarah is cancer-free. Complete remission. The waiting room exploded. Tank punched the wall. Left a dent. Didn't care. Doc collapsed into a chair, head in his hands, shoulders shaking. Wrench openly wept. Hammer stood frozen. Then his knees gave out. This massive man who'd survived combat and prison and violence dropped to the floor and cried like a child. Grown men who hadn't shed tears since boot camp broke down completely. They'd won. They'd actually won. Raven brought Lily to room 347. The door opened. Sarah sat up in bed. Still weak. Still thin. But alive. Actually, impossibly alive. Her arms opened. Lily ran. Mother and daughter collapsed together. Crying. Laughing. Holding each other like the world might tear them apart again. The Iron Brotherhood stood in the doorway. Watching. Witnessing the miracle they'd made possible. 2 weeks later, Sarah walked out of Memorial Hospital on her own feet. The celebration at the clubhouse was the first family-friendly event in the club's 30-year history. No drugs. No alcohol. Just barbecue and music and a 9-year-old girl running around playing with the club dog. Sarah stood in the center of it all, trying to thank them. Trying to find words big enough. They wouldn't let her. You don't thank family, Hammer said. That night, after Sarah and Lily went home to their apartment. Rent paid for 6 months, utilities covered, groceries stocked. The Brotherhood gathered. Just them. Tank spoke first. My old man used to beat me bloody. Put me in the hospital twice. Nobody helped. Nobody stopped him. Doc nodded. Foster care. 7 houses. Nobody wanted the broken kid. Raven's voice was quiet. My stepfather. From age 8 to 14. Mom didn't believe me. One by one, they shared their stories. Childhood neglect. Abuse. System failures. Adults who looked away. Hammer stood. We all know what it's like when nobody comes. When nobody helps. When the world decides you don't matter. He looked at each of them. That little girl didn't have anyone. Just a dying mother and a predator circling. The system failed her. Family failed her. Everyone failed her. His voice grew stronger. Accept us. He pulled out a wooden plaque. Freshly engraved. This is our new code. We use our strength to protect those the world fails. Children. Families. Anyone who needs someone to show up when everyone else walks away. The Brotherhood stood. As one. No vote needed. They'd found their purpose. And it was worth more than every mile they'd ever ridden. The $5 bill hangs above the bar. Professionally framed. Museum-quality glass. A brass plaque beneath it reads, Lily Brooks, age 9. The day courage walked through our door and changed everything. Every prospect who enters the clubhouse hears the story. Every brother who forgets why they wear the patch gets reminded. The legend grows. But the work is just beginning. The Iron Brotherhood establishes the $5 fund. Hammer sets the rules. Any family facing what Sarah faced. medical bills, domestic violence, predators, anyone trapped with nowhere to go. We help them. The first case comes 3 months later. A single father with a sick son. Insurance denied. Hospital threatening collections. The Brotherhood raises $30,000 in 2 weeks. The second case. A woman escaping an abusive husband. No money. No resources. 3 kids. Raven finds her housing. Tank and Doc relocate her family in the middle of the night. Wrench erases her digital trail. The husband never finds them. By year's end, they've helped 12 families. By year 5, 43. The fund becomes legendary in communities the system ignores. Sarah recovers fully. 6 months post-treatment, she's back in her classroom. 3rd grade, teaching kids who remind her every day why she fought so hard. She never misses a Sunday dinner at the clubhouse. Lily grows up surrounded by leather and chrome and men who die for her. She learns to ride at 12. Hammer teaching her on a smaller bike, patient and gentle. She attends every club event, every charity ride, every fundraiser. She's never afraid again. High school graduation. Lily Brooks, valedictorian, stands at the podium. The parking lot is filled with motorcycles. 47 of them. The Iron Brotherhood sits in the back rows, leather vests in a sea of sundresses and suits. When Lily gives her speech about courage and family and the people who save you, Hammer wipes his eyes. College graduation. University of State. Degree in social work. Hammer sits front row, wearing a suit that doesn't quite fit, crying openly when Lily's name is called. She crosses the stage, finds his face in the crowd, mouths 2 words, "Thank you." He mouths back, so proud. 10 years later, Lily Brooks, now 29, stands in a white dress. The church is packed. Sarah sits in the front row, healthy and glowing. The music starts. Hammer walks Lily down the aisle. This massive, scarred, tattooed man in a tuxedo, arm in arm with the little girl who changed his life. She whispers, "You know you're my real father, right?" His voice breaks. "I know, little one." At the reception, the groom, a pediatric oncologist Lily met while volunteering, thanks the Iron Brotherhood. "You saved her mother. You saved her. And because of that, I get to love her. Thank you for giving me that chance." Tank raises his glass. "To family. The one you're born into and the one you choose." The clubhouse. Present day. The $5 bill still hangs above the bar. Faded now. Worn. But sacred. New prospects stand before it listening to the story. A 9-year-old girl walked through that door with $5 and absolute faith. She believed we could save her mother. And we did. Hammer, older now, gray beard, weathered face, stands beside it. This is what we are. Not criminals. Not outcasts. Protectors. Defenders. Family. He touches the frame gently. Every time you think about walking away, every time you forget why you wear that patch, you look at this, you remember that little girl. You remember that courage comes in the smallest packages. And you remember that we have the power to save lives. The $5 fund has helped 127 families now. Sarah still teaches. Lily still visits every Sunday. The legend still grows. And that $5 bill? It reminds them every single day. Sometimes the people the world fears are the ones who save you. Sometimes broken men find redemption in the eyes of a child. Sometimes family isn't blood. Sometimes it's a little girl, a dying mother, and a room full of bikers who decided that protecting the innocent was worth more than their reputation. The Iron Brotherhood protects the vulnerable, defends the defenseless, and never ever abandons family. That's the code. That's the legacy. That's the truth a $5 bill taught them. That $5 bill still hangs in the Iron Brotherhood clubhouse today. Faded but sacred. A reminder that sometimes the people society fears are the ones who save you. Lily Brooks is 29 now, a licensed social worker specializing in child protective services. She still rides with the Brotherhood, still visits every Sunday, still calls Hammer Dad. Sarah teaches 3rd grade, cancer-free for over a decade. She tells her students, family isn't who you're born to, it's who shows up when the world walks away. The Iron Brotherhood, still riding, still protecting, still proving that redemption isn't given, it's earned. The $5 fund has helped over 150 families escape violence, pay medical bills, and survive when the system failed them. This is the story the media won't cover. The story of how a 9-year-old girl's faith transformed hardened criminals into heroes. The story of how $5 became worth more than $1 million. The story that proves courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers with a child's voice. If this story made you believe in humanity again, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, because right now, somewhere, there's another child who needs to know that heroes exist. They just might have tattoos, scars, and motorcycles instead of capes. Hit that subscribe button for biker stories. Turn on notifications, because we're bringing you real stories of brotherhood, redemption, and courage that the world needs to hear. Stories of broken people becoming protectors. Stories of outcasts becoming saviors. Stories that prove it's never too late to choose who you want to be. Drop a comment below. Have you ever been saved by someone unexpected? We want to hear your story. And remember, the next time you see a biker, remember Lily. Remember Sarah. Remember that the scariest looking people sometimes have the biggest hearts. This is Biker Stories, where the truth rides free. Subscribe now, because these stories deserve to be told. And these heroes deserve to be known.